Manufacturing technology. From the very first second, stay locked in. Don't blink, because what you're about to hear isn't just the story of a technology company. It's the story of how a single chip, a tiny piece of silicon smaller than your fingernail, reshaped gaming, rewired artificial intelligence, rocked Wall Street, fueled national security, empowered research labs, and quietly became one of the most powerful engines driving the digital world we live in today. This is the rise of NVIDIA, a company that started with no guarantees, no safety net, no promise of success, and somehow transformed itself into one of the most influential forces in modern history. And trust me, once this story begins, you're going to want to stay until the very end, because every chapter gets more intense, more surprising, and more unreal than the one before it. And hey, before we jump in, if you're into deep dive storytelling like this, do me a favor, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and share this documentary with your friends. It helps the channel grow, keeps the content alive, and lets us keep bringing you powerful stories like this one. All right, let's begin. It all starts in the early 1990s, Silicon Valley, back when it wasn't polished and glamorous, but risky, raw, unpredictable, a place where one bold idea could turn you into a legend or crush you overnight. Back then, computers were boring machines, beige boxes, low-power CPUs, designed for spreadsheets, accounting, basic business tools. Games were primitive, graphics were flat and lifeless, nothing cinematic, nothing immersive, nothing that made you feel like you were stepping into another world. But in the middle of that world, three engineers saw something no one else did. Jensen Huang, Chris Malachowski, Curtis Preem. Three minds, three dreamers, one insane vision. They weren't sitting in a glossy conference room, no suits, no corporate stage, just a small diner booth, coffee mugs, scribbled notes, raw ambition, and one big question. What if computers didn't just process information? What if they actually brought digital worlds to life? What if graphics weren't slow, but instant, not static, but moving, breathing, cinematic, alive? That question didn't just spark a business idea, it sparked a technological revolution. Because while every major tech company was obsessed with improving CPUs, the traditional brain of the computer, these guys believed the world needed a new kind of brain, a brain built for visuals, for speed, for parallel performance, for something far beyond what anyone thought computers were capable of. So they took a risk that most people would never dare to take. They founded a tiny startup called NVIDIA. No fame, no big headquarters, no guaranteed future, just courage, grind, and a stubborn belief that the world would someday need what they were building. Investors laughed at them. Analysts dismissed graphics as a niche. Many believed gaming would never become a serious industry. But NVIDIA wasn't betting on the present. They were betting on the future. Years went by. Countless prototypes failed. Dead ends, financial stress, long nights, competing companies closing in. The startup world wasn't glamorous, it was survival. Every mistake felt fatal, every decision mattered. And then everything shifted. The GeForce era was born. And the reaction from gamers across the United States and across the world was legendary. Yo, what is this? Games no longer looked like games. Explosions had depth, lighting felt cinematic, characters moved smoother, worlds looked alive. For the first time ever, graphics cards weren't just hardware, they were identity, flex, passion, status. Owning a GeForce card meant owning the future. And hey, real talk, if you've ever owned a GeForce card or dreamed about building your ultimate gaming setup someday, drop a like right now, because for millions of players, GeForce wasn't just technology, it was culture, it was pride, it was aspiration. But hidden inside those gaming chips was a secret nobody expected, a silent superpower.
because GPUs weren't just good at graphics, they were insanely efficient at handling massive amounts of data, all at the same time. While CPUs solved one task at a time, GPUs attacked thousands simultaneously. Inside universities, research labs, and scientific centers across the US, people noticed. They looked at NVIDIA hardware and said, "Hold on, this isn't just graphics. This could change everything." Artificial intelligence, robotics, neural networks, climate research, medical imaging, machine learning, scientific simulations, self-driving cars. Every one of those fields needed extreme parallel computation, and GPUs, they were perfect for it. Overnight, NVIDIA transformed from gaming company to global computing backbone. But every rise comes with turbulence. Markets crashed, the tech industry shifted, critics resurfaced, investors doubted the company again, rivals copied strategies, analysts said GPUs were a fad. The company stood dangerously close to the edge. One wrong decision and NVIDIA could have vanished. But Jensen Huang didn't back down. Black leather jacket, steady posture, laser-focused calm, and he said 7 words that would define the future of technology. The future belongs to accelerated computing. Not slow, not ordinary, accelerated. Then came the turning point. CUDA.
Not just a program, a platform, a language, a gateway into the chip. For the first time ever, scientists and developers could use GPUs not just for graphics, but for medicine, supercomputing, physics simulations, deep learning research, crypto, robotics, aerospace, financial modeling, everything. CUDA didn't just upgrade computing, it rewired the technological world. Universities adopted it. National research labs adopted it. The biggest tech companies in the United States, they rushed in fast because they realized something huge. This wasn't just technology. This was leverage. This was power. And from that moment on, NVIDIA didn't just play the game, they led it. But leadership comes with pressure. Demand exploded. Data centers fought over GPU supply. Corporations placed billion-dollar orders. Governments began watching closely. Intelligence agencies monitored semiconductor movement. Wall Street analysts tracked every earnings call, every announcement, every rumor. Meanwhile, gamers were like, "Bro, can I please buy a graphics card without selling my soul?" The tension was real. Because NVIDIA was no longer just a chip company. It had become an ecosystem. AI supercomputers training massive language models, medical scanners detecting diseases earlier than ever, self-driving systems mapping American highways, weather labs predicting hurricanes in real time, Hollywood rendering cinematic universes, crypto farms burning electricity across continents, robotics labs teaching machines how to move like humans. And here's the wildest part. Most people scrolling through social media, binge-watching shows, trading stocks, gaming late at night have no idea how many parts of their daily lives silently rely on NVIDIA technology. And hey, if you're still with us right now, that means you're deep into this journey. So take 2 seconds, hit like, smash subscribe, and share this video with someone who loves tech history. Because trust me, the story is about to get even intenser. Because success attracts rivals and competition enters the arena. AMD fires back with aggressive GPU innovation. Intel steps into graphics. AI chip startups rise from everywhere. Governments restrict exports. Trade tensions escalate. Technology becomes geopolitics. The question returns, can NVIDIA hold the throne? Or will someone else rewrite the rules of computing? Meanwhile, AI accelerates faster than anyone predicted. Chatbots, deep learning, robotics factories, cloud intelligence, smart surveillance, creative tools, automation shaping industries across the United States. And behind the curtain, GPUs are the ones doing the heavy lifting. Governments begin stockpiling chips the way nations once stockpiled oil. Corporations secure long-term supply contracts. Intelligence agencies monitor semiconductor movement. Compute becomes power. Data becomes currency. Tiny silicon wafers become global assets. In the middle of this storm, Jensen Huang walks back on stage again, calm, focused, almost cinematic.
Every announcement feels like a plot twist, new architectures, new accelerators, new breakthroughs, as if there's always one last card left to play. Love him or criticize him, one thing is certain, he doesn't slow down, because NVIDIA isn't just building hardware anymore, it's shaping the future of how machines think, how data is processed, how intelligence is created. So here's the real question, and I want you to really think about it. Are NVIDIA chips simply tools helping humanity build the next technological revolution, or are they becoming the digital backbone of the modern world? Because from gaming rooms and streaming platforms to research labs, hospitals, trading floors, space programs, and classified facilities across the United States, one truth stands firm. The world moves faster when GPUs are running in the background. And that is the story of NVIDIA, a company that didn't just build chips, it built possibility, it built a platform, it built the engine powering the AI revolution, not just a tech brand, not just hardware, but a force pushing humanity one giant step closer to a future we're only beginning to understand. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive cinematic documentary, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video with your friends who love tech history. Because trust me, the story is about to get even intenser.